Hello, this is John from the Han Informer,
This is Glenn from Fall Ritual.
and this is episode 8 of Fall Informer. And today we have a special guest, Frankie from Brighton Asylum.
Hi guys, what's going on? What's up?
Not much. How you doing today?
Not too bad. Just I worked all day and I was like, I have to leave early so I can do this with you guys. So
Awesome.
Thank you for being here with us.
anytime. My pleasure.
And my first question for you is, you have had lots and lots of different makeup variations for Frankie. What has been your favorite out of all of them so far?
That's a tough question. They all have a different place in my heart. But I mean, the boils were really like a standout for me. That's how I got my first t-shirt. That's how like we created, like that was like the first little detail that really stood out, and we were like, okay, we have to keep this and we have to keep doing this, and that's how like my character kind of built upon it. But we kind of started straying away from that. Like I evolved that into a burn now, so the boils are now more up and like more on my neck. And then like for off-season events, like I'll do like, you know, Lucky Charms for like the St. Patty's, or like candy canes and stuff. So it's still boil-esque, but the boils will always be the, you know, the standout, the first. So
Gotcha.
I do love the pumpkin seeds you did for the halfway to Halloween one. I thought that was really awesome looking.
Awesome. That was a last minute decision too. It was random. I was like, I have a bag, so we'll put pumpkin seeds on me. So
Nice.
Awesome. Well, I guess this could lead into my first question for you. Do you do your own makeup, or does someone at Brighton do it for you, or do you know someone who does it for you?
So yeah, we have a bunch of different makeup artists. But what I actually take pride in is after they do my whole look, I take maybe 20 to 30 minutes and I just keep adding stuff. So, you know, I came up with the pumpkin seed idea. I came up with the Lucky Charms. They give me like a nice base, and then I'll just like add some more stuff to it usually. Because I have a lot of pet peeves, and if something's like, my neck isn't covered or if my ears are showing, like I have to make sure everything is completely how I want. So
Gotcha.
yeah.
So they give you like a starting point, and then you just go from
Basically, yeah.
That's awesome.
So in the past, you've played many different characters, and during one off-season haunt, you actually got to play Otis from the Devil's Rejects. What was it like portraying that character?
It was kind of surreal, because when people would recognize me, because a lot of people have never heard of the Devil's Rejects before, or House of a Thousand Corpses, and you know, doing a character with like a redneck vibe, people automatically think like, you're just a redneck. But when people looked at me and was like, oh my god, that's Otis, like what is Otis doing here? It's kind of it's very surreal. But at the same time, if I play other characters, people will say, that's Frankie. Like, we know that's you, Frankie. So it's a double-edged sword, and I kind of can't play other characters at the moment. Not that I want to anyway, but
Because you played Pennywise too, right?
yes. I when we first got the whole entire costume at Brighton, I was the first one to go in and like model for it. So I was like the person in the trailer as Pennywise.
Cool.
And also we did Night of the Creeps, when we're allowed to bring in like the movie characters into our haunt. I fused Pennywise with Frankie-wise, so I could still, you know, so people weren't mad that I wasn't Frankie, but they were also like, oh, he has flavor today.
Nice.
Yeah.
Since you're our, you know, kind of face of Brighton and so recognizable at Brighton, do you get recognized outside of the haunt? Are you just at like somewhere in town and be like, oh, dude, Frank, you know, like, do you get recognized outside of the haunt?
I've only been recognized one time, and it was actually at my full-time job. The person in the accounting office was a fan of Brighton Asylum, and they just transferred in. So I came in to drop the money off, and she looked at me and she was just like, you're Frankie, aren't you? And I was just like, how do you know this? Why do you know this? And long story short, my dad, he works with me too. And in his office, he has like the Brighton magazine and like the Brighton cover that I was on, and some like other trailer stills.
Right.
So when she goes into his office, she noticed that. She was like, oh, you're a fan of Brighton. And he's like, no, I'm a fan of my son. So like, it was very surreal, and it was probably the only time so far that someone has like just looked at me and been like, "You're Frankie."
How's that go? I mean, that's got to be pretty awesome. Like that's.
Yeah, it's super. It was surreal is the only word I could think of, because ever since I was young, you know, I wanted to be like a horror-ish character or someone that could, you know, bring vibes with me, like either spooky vibes or like, oh, he was in that thing, you know, like I always wanted to be someone that people could point at. So it's just crazy. It's just still crazy to me. I'm still shocked.
Right. That's awesome.
So definitely one of your crowning moments in your haunt career for sure was getting a Top Rater Haunter Award from the Haunt Hunters app people. What was that like?
Oh my God. They didn't let me know that they were there that day. They didn't let me know that I was receiving anything. I was, you know, just doing my thing. I just finished up my makeup and I looked out the top window in the bleeding grounds and I saw that Haunt Hunters was there. So I said, oh, let me go outside and talk to them.
Mhm.
And right when I went outside, people were like, Frankie, 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 and like ushering me towards them. And I was like, okay, like this is odd. Like, let me stay in character and just like interact with everybody. And they were like, okay. And then they had like this bag, and out of nowhere, they brought out this, hold on, let me see if I still have it. It is actually right here.
Oh, awesome. There you go.
Yes. So they gave me this nice Top Rated Haunter 2019 knife. It's kind of a little wear and tear, but yeah. So just coming out and seeing them with like the camera already on and holding this thing, it was something that I've never experienced. No one's ever given me like an award while I'm in character performing. So all around, it was just really, really awesome to just be a part of it. And I was panicking the entire time. I don't think anyone could really tell, but like when I watched my footage back, I go, oh my God, I'm so lucky that I stayed in character and didn't freak out.
So you stayed in character the whole time that they were like awarding you this?
Yeah, even when they cut the camera, if I'm outside in front of a crowd, I do not break at all. So
That's awesome. That's very commendable.
thank you. I try. It's a pet peeve of mine. If I saw someone, you know, if a camera went off and I was at an attraction and they were just like, okay, thanks, dude, and just like walked away from me, I'd be like, what the hell was that? That's a regular guy. So whatever I like, I want to do for other people, and I hold myself to that standard. So
Nice. What is the process of working with Rogues Hall Productions, doing different photo shoots and trailers?
So Rogues Hollow is very professional. They were the first group of like photographers and videographers that I've worked with for Brighton. I think it was five years ago was my first time working with him, with Chris. And he's a genius. He works in different ways. Like I would be in character and in makeup like the entire day on set, and he would just randomly walk around and be like, okay, I want you to do this. And it would just be a random thing out of the blue. And then he would see how I would do it. And then he would ask me like, what do you think you should do? And that's very different. Nice. Because a lot of teams, you know, they have what they want to do already. And they say, okay, this is what we want. And you have to do it exactly how we want to do it. Mm-hmm. And given the freedom and the room to play around, I feel like it gives you a lot more authenticity. Like a lot of the stuff is more like visceral and like, you know, because it's something that I felt that should be done. Like it's the character that I embody. So maybe I felt like I should, you know, breathe a certain way, or you know, maybe I should approach the camera a different way. So with Rogues Hollow, they always gave me that freedom, and it's so awesome to work with him, and it's so professional. It's so surreal. That's my main word today. Everything is so surreal.
I feel like I should like edit that onto the screen, like surreal. Last year, I saw that you were expanding the backstory for Frankie, and actually he now is turning into a serial killer because he's gone so mad and he's starting to wear a mask. Are there any new developments you could tease for 2021?
Yeah. The only thing I could say, I was filming yesterday for about 9.5 hours, the whole entire day.
Wow.
And I still have makeup on my eyes and on my neck. I didn't want to wash it because you guys don't mind. The haunt community doesn't mind. The only thing that I can tease is exactly what you were getting at last year.
Mhm.
We're just building on that a lot more. And just think more sinister and less bubbly Frankie. So I'm trying to take it more into the darker direction, but I'm still going to be approachable.
All right.
Yeah.
So you're gonna more like give people false sense of security, like, oh look, I'm all happy. But
Basically that. Yeah.
you
And
can
I
do it a
also,
lot better than I can. I'm not.
no, that
You
was
could do
good,
it.
dude. That
You
was
could do
good.
it. You could do your voice if you wanted to. Like,
I'll be like, that was awesome. But
okay.
yeah, like just the fact that also Brighton, how they give me the freedom to, be like, this is your character, whatever you want to do, just show us and we'll let you do it. It's something that I always wanted to do, and being able to take myself darker and darker is very opposite of how I am normally. I'm very, I'm a cheery person. I'm very relaxed. So being able to get those emotions out and see what I would be like as like a manic person, or as somebody with like, multiple personalities or crazy rage disorder. Like it's very interesting to me, and like psychologically, like I like to explore that.
What do you like more, being inside the haunt or doing like a line actor outside? What do you like more? Is there one that's more grueling than the other? I mean, I know it's a grueling thing being a haunt actor. I mean, so is it easier inside, harder outside? Like what?
So they're both easy and hard at the same time. There's pros and cons to both of them, which is why I like the freedom to be able to do both. Not like all our characters are able to do that. I think only the butcher, the nurse with the medal, myself, and the relievers that go around to like relieve people for bathrooms, they're the only people that roam. So going from outside, you can't reset yourself outside. If you make a mistake, or if you stutter, or if someone trips you up, you're surrounded by all these people. You're on like a huge, massive stage. But that also works for you as well. Like you could randomly just like, look somewhere and sprint, or like, crawl under a truck, or, you could use the whole entire parking lot to your advantage. And then being inside, I feel like it's harder when it's hot, when the weather is like not really into the fall season yet, and we have all the prosthetics on, and now you're in a room in the whole asylum with no AC. And it really, really gets to people. Like, you can only pop out for a little bit, and then if you're out for too long, your makeup will fall off, or someone will be like, oh look, that's a little showing now because they've been inside for so long. But personally, I really enjoy going outside and then making my way inside to visit a group that I previously visited outside. So then they're like, how the hell did you get in here?
Yeah, you can really mess with people that way. Like, I mean, how did you you were just here,
people literally think that I have somebody like a twin in the same makeup as me. They're like, there's no way you did that. But there's like a lot of, backwoods ways that I go, and I cut through, I go under floors and stuff. So, I mean, and I have to sprint, but I mean, I make it work.
You're like Ghostface, so there's always more than one.
Yes. Yes.
What is it like actually being on a Brighton Asylum shirt and actually having a gift shop at Brighton Asylum and giving signatures?
It just came out of nowhere. There was no warning, like, hey, Frankie, we're going to put you on a shirt. It was kind of like, I was there for the first day of the season, and I was getting my makeup done. And then a couple of the managers came, and everyone's clapping and looking at me and like holding this thing. I was like, what's going on? Like, why did you do this? But seeing people wearing my shirt, seeing me and going, you have to sign my shirt. And I'm like, I don't have a Sharpie. So I'll like take blood from my face and like sign with like my finger. And like, it evolved from like people expecting me to sign in goop to now they bring Sharpies with them. Like I feel like I'm like, like a little celebrity, and it's so crazy, but I enjoy it so much that it's just part of the territory now. Like I'm kind of like, okay, like I'm used to the exposure, and I want more.
Oh man.
where can you buy a Frankie t-shirt at? Just Brighton, or can you have them online somewhere?
I think it's just Brighton at the moment. The gift shop is actually torn down during the off season, and then it's re-put up for the Halloween season. So I'm
Okay.
not even sure if you could order them online. I could ask though if you guys want them or anything.
I'll take it.
get
I'll
back
take a
to you.
Frankie shirt
Awesome, and I'll sign it in my hair group.
in there. Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Nice,
Yeah.
nice, nice. So this is more a generalized question, but I'm just curious, what has been your personal best scare at any haunt attraction?
That's a really tough question. And to be honest, I haven't even been to another haunt besides Brighton in like 6.5 years or so.
Holy cow.
Because I act every day of the season and like people expect me to be there, so I don't even have the urge to go to another haunt. But if I had to think about that, there was one outside haunt actually. It was in I'm from Garfield, and there's a town Saddlebrook next to me. It was just a random outdoor haunt that like the high school kids put together, and I
Okay.
wasn't expecting it to be good. I wasn't expecting to get scared, and they had a hallway, which is a pretty common hallway, the dark hallway with like the masks, and then you'll have someone in the bodysuit.
Mhm.
But I had no idea that that was a thing back then. I had no idea that people were wearing morph suits and blending in with hallways. And I'm going through this thing going, oh yeah, I used like this was before Brighton. So I used to work at like a school haunt actually. It nothing. I was not even a haunt actor. So walking through this hallway and having a figure the size of a person just appear out of nowhere really primally startled me. Like I was like, where did he come from? How did he do that? Why did I not see him? Like I'm a very alert person. So having someone be able to sneak up on me just made me feel like very threatened. So yeah, so that hallway with the morph suits and stuff, it really, I don't know, something about it. Something about that.
I know you just talked about how you can't get to other haunts because I know you haunt actors are so dedicated to your haunt. You're working every weekend through the haunt season, but what are your top 3 haunts that you would like to check out if you got out there to go to different haunts? What are like your top 3?
So the top one would probably be Dark Hour.
Nice.
Just because I've heard so many good things about it. Like everybody from any haunt is always saying, you got to check that one out. You would like that, Frankie. And I was like, oh, why? Like, and they're like, no, you'll just check it out. Just check it out. So, probably Dark Hour. And then I want to say 13th Hour, only
Okay.
because they're technically like, they're friendly competition, like they're in the same state and we're both haunted attractions, and either people are either going there or going to Brighton, or going back and forth from one or the other. And I'd love to visit like Mickey the Clown and see all the other people that show me love, and just to see like how they operate, or not even that, just to experience the vibe that they bring. And the third one, maybe Bane when they move to the city, right? Are they still in the city?
I'm
New
not
York
sure
City. I
where
think they
they
moved to
moved.
New York
I
City,
know
right?
they moved to like New York, right?
Yeah, okay. And so probably Bane, because also it's the same thing. Like they were considered almost like our friendly competition, and I never was able to see like what they were doing and why people were going there and then coming here and saying, oh wow, Bane, like, so yeah, just to check it out.
Friends of mine said it was crazy that they would like put you in coffins and you had to crawl over them and crazy stuff like
Yeah.
that.
And I did hear that, and it's very dark, and they have a lot of sensory deprivation and stuff like that. Also, one more thing, probably also Halloween Horror Nights. I've only been there one time, and it was because Rich, the owner of Brighton, he took me after, I mean, mid-season. He said like, thanks for doing a good job. We're gonna go to Universal. And then we
Wow.
flew mid-Halloween season when we didn't have any shows, and then we came back the day of the show and I performed. So
That's awesome.
but it
I
was
saw the I
really,
saw the picture on your social media of you with Sam.
yes,
That was
that
the
was
year they
from
had it
that.
too.
hmm
Nice. What would you
Yeah.
say were your favorite haunted houses and scare zones that year?
Oh, they had a whole Shining house,
Oh, nice.
and the effects were breathtaking. I think they actually had stuff from the set, like from the movies, like
Oh,
the
nice.
actual set used. And they had like the long hallway with, I don't know what kind of screen it was. It wasn't a green screen, but it was like that, like mesh looking screen.
Oh, the Pepper's
And
Ghost.
yes, and it had like the blood come down the hallway.
Oh,
And
no.
I was like, oh my God, like this is such a high budget production.
All right. It was awesome talking to you, Frankie. I'm happy to have you on finally.
Yeah.
And that was episode 8 of Fallen Former. And until next time, happy hauntings.
Bye, guys.